Hi, this is Larry with Mancave Mayhem. Today I'm working on my 2000 Harley Sportster S. And what we're doing today is we're gonna do the rear brake fluid. We're gonna change the rear brake fluid on that. I'm gonna show you how to do it. These bikes have .5 brake fluid, which is hydrophobic, not hydroscopic. So it's silicone based. It does not attract moisture, which is a good thing, but it's also not as resistant to heat as many of the other types of brake fluid. But I'm going to show you guys how to do this. It's definitely due for a service on the rear brakes. We did the front brakes already. Time for a service on the rear brakes. So we're going to get around to this side and bleed these brakes, and I'll show you how to do it. It's really a simple process. Nothing that's too crazy to deal with. It's something you can do on your own. If you haven't yet, don't forget to like, share, subscribe, hit that bell for notifications. Check us out at Instagram at mancave_mayhem. Now let's get on with the video. All right, the tools needed for this job is some good old .5 brake fluid. You're gonna want a 3/8 wrench, 1/4 inch wrench, some brake cleaner, and a mighty vac. That always comes in handy. And I also used this motorcycle stand here to kind of level things out. But I also had the help of my trusty assistant. Okay, so here's the master cylinder for your rear brakes. Notice my aftermarket exhaust is kind of in the way here. These do have Phillips heads on them as well, but I'm using a 1/4 inch wrench to actually loosen these up. I've got them kind of pre-loosened, so we'll go ahead and get these off. The first one's gonna be easy. The second one might be a little more challenging. Hopefully the exhaust doesn't have to come on. And we'll get this off. As you're taking this off, just be careful not to get any dirt or anything into the reservoir. Make sure it's clean prior to taking everything off. Now, then you just kind of have to pop this cap off. This cap may not have been off for quite a few years, so. All right, and if you can see down in here, the fluid's pretty nasty. So we want to get rid of that nasty fluid and get some pretty purple fluid in there. So that's what we're going to do next. Okay, it's not terribly dirty now that we got some light on it, but you can see it's definitely not purple. So it's been in there a while. We're going to go ahead. You can use a paper towel, or you can actually evacuate it out, siphon it out with maybe a mighty vac or something like that. And so that's what we're going to go ahead and do. We'll get it out as clean as we can, and then we'll fill it with the new, appropriately fresh .5 fluid. So I'm going to take this mighty vac, and we're going to go ahead and pump out this extra fluid. You can see the color of that fluid. It's a lot different than what the new fluid looks like. It's not a whole lot of fluid either. Once we get it all pumped out, we're going to wipe it out. As long as you don't push on the brake, you won't get any air in the line. So we're going to get out as much as we can there. Take this away. Now we'll wipe out the inside of that cylinder. All right, now we're taking our .5 brake fluid and we're going to fill it out now that we've got it all wiped out and clean. And we haven't touched the brake pedal. We're going to pour some of this in. Pretty purple colored stuff, as you can see on the top here. You see the color of it, how different it is than the other. Okay, so now we're going to move over to the other side of the bike and start the bleeding process. This you may need 2 people with. So I'm going to have my trusty assistant help me. And she will actually push down the pedal and hold it when I tell her to. And what we're going to do is we're going to evacuate all the old fluid out of the system that's existing in that system. So we'll go over to the other side. All right, here's the brake caliper for the rear of the bike. Here's your bleed valve. It has a cover on it. I'll show you that cover. It's old, so it kind of broke, but it still kind of protects the end of that from getting dirty. Now we're going to take our 3/8 wrench that we're going to need to bleed this. And when we crack this, the only time we'll crack that open is when the foot pedal's down. Then when you close it, I will have my trusty assistant pump it 4 times or a few times, and then I'll crack that again and it'll bleed out some more. Keeping an eye on the fluid here to make sure it never gets low, okay? So we'll probably fill this fluid up just a little bit more just to make sure we have enough in here to fill the line. So we'll do that. There we go. That should be enough. And now we'll go over to the other side and start getting things bled. To begin with, she's gonna hold this pedal down. I'm gonna go over and crack that bleed screw, and we're gonna let off any excess stuff. What will happen is this pedal will fall all the way down, and she'll continue to hold it while I close that bleed screw, and then we will repeat that process. She'll pump it a couple times, and we'll repeat the process. We'll crack the screw, we'll let it flow out. She'll continue to hold it down. I'll tighten it, and then she can let off until we get purple fluid coming out of the other side here. Once that happens, we'll know that we have totally clean fluid throughout the system, and then we'll know we're ready and the brake bleed is nearly completed. I'm gonna just barely crack this bleed screw, try and put the hose on it. It's hard to do one-handed. Okay. Now she's gonna push down on that pedal. Push down on that pedal all the way and hold it. You have it held down?
Yep.
Continue holding it.
I am. It hasn't dropped.
Hang on.
Oh, there it goes.
It's all the way down?
Yep.
Give it just a minute. Okay. Now we've got some more amber fluid out of there. And we're going to continue this process until we see purple.
I'm holding it. It just dropped.
Okay, now you can let off of it. Now pump it.
How many times?
Like 4 times.
Okay, holding it.
Hang on a second. Just keep holding it. Okay, we got a little bit of fluid out of it. Now she has pumped it about 4 times. We just picked a random number. We thought 4 sounded good, so that's what we're doing. So she's pumped it 4 times. Now she's continuing to hold down on that pedal. And now I'm going to crack that screw again, and more fluid will come out. Yeah, pump it 4 or 5 times. Then tell me when you got it held down.
I'm holding down.
We're going to go ahead and clean this off. Again, this is non-corrosive, so we don't have to worry too much about it taking paint off, but we do want to get any of the residue off before we button things up. So I'm using some non-chlorinated brake cleaner, and I am going to wipe this all down. Make sure it's all off of here and off my tire as much as possible, because it's probably not real good for the tire. We'll get this all cleaned up, and then we're going to replace the cap right here, the dust cap, like so. And we're going to run over here, and we're going to top this reservoir off. Make sure it's got plenty of new brake fluid in it. Looks like there's a full line there. Now that we got the brake fluid in, we're going to go ahead and reverse process, put the cap on. Let's go. Yeah. And that's going to be about it for this video. If you haven't yet, don't forget to like, share, subscribe, hit that bell for notifications. Check us out at Instagram at Mancave_Mayhem. I also want to thank my beautiful assistant, my beautiful wife, who has been with me for 34 long, hard years. Thank you very much, Nancy. That's all for this video. Please like, share, subscribe. We really like the support. We can use the support. Support is good. You guys have a wonderful day.